It feels amazing to work with 4J Studios because I've kind of been a fan for them for the entire time. I've spent so many hours playing games that they've worked on in the past. I'm Joe Garrett and I'm a consultant for 4J Studios.
Hello, I'm MPX Toycat, and this was one of the big shocks behind the announcement of Reforj. It's not just a game made by the people who created Minecraft Console Edition, but they've also joined forces with the biggest YouTuber of that time. This collaboration raises so many questions, but I'm actually pretty friendly with Stampy, so I sat down in his office to play Reforj and ask him some questions about the game and its future, and that is what you're going to see today.
Now look at all the space. It's roomy in here.
It's probably like in the top 50 houses that have ever been built in Reforj, just because of how few have been built.
But first I should give the important clarification that of course this is a very early version of Reforj, and in fact the 4J people put it best when they say,
I've been making games for about 30 years, and this is definitely the rawest state I've ever let anyone outside of the development team get their hands on it.
This game is so different from anything we've done before, because not only is it based on a brand new technology that we spent 4 or 5 years building from scratch.
Anyway, without further ado, let's go into the very casual interview.
So there's a thing in the game called aura, which is in every living thing, including you.
Oh.
And whenever if you kill a mob, if you eat food, you can find Aurium, which is kind of like crystallized aura in the world. And it's basically the thing that powers everything in this world. And if you contain it in noble glass is just a really good material for like containing it. Like I kind of think of it like water versus oil. So it's not like noble glass is really strong. It just doesn't mix well with aura, so it can contain it. So you can just basically have a little bit of aura on a stick in noble glass, and that's kind of like our basic torch in the game. So that's the only thing it's used for at the moment is making the torch. But basically anything that you do that will contain aura, say if you have a station that's powered by aura, like noble glass will be in the recipe, for anything that you're doing.
But right now it's torch, but it's going to contain every living, so it's going to really fit into the living world and your, things in it, right?
Yeah. So aura in this build isn't in the game yet. So noble glass is just added in because we needed a recipe to make torches. And like the kind of the people that you are in this world, like they just don't really use fossil fuels. So it didn't make sense to have like coal or gas or oil or anything, because if you have this really powerful thing called aura that can just kind of endlessly power things, like why would you bother having like burning like dirty fossil fuels? So we need, and so that's why you'll find a lot of noble glass spawning on the surface, because it's something we want players to be able to do immediately.
This is the first time I've seen so much of it, though. I mean, like, if it's all over, is this the norm, would you say, or is this just a good spawn because of all those 9s in the world? See?
I think in this biome it stands out more.
Oh, because of the
because eventually the ores will kind of match better the material that they're on, because they're going to be 3D ores that will kind of just come out of the material that they're on. But at the moment, I think they just stand out because they kind of clash with the orange a little bit.
Yeah. So this current, I'm going to craft myself a torch now. I've got the ingredients. This current torch recipe, like just glass and wood. Noble glass and wood. Is that, you feel good about that? Is that like?
So it will be that, and then aura as well. It will be.
Oh, okay.
So aura won't be something that you hold. It's like basically it's like almost like a value attributed to the players. Like how much aura do I have? Like in another game, it might be how much gold do I have, or how much experience do I have? Yeah. So it will be you have 400 aura. To make a torch, you might need 5 aura, the noble glass, and then the timber.
So if it's like life essence, are you picturing losing it when you're dying? Is that what you're?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Exactly.
So
Okay. But then it will be like retrievable. But you're not the only one that wants aura. There's mobs in the game that want aura as well. So maybe if you have a lot of aura, you might be a bigger target.
Oh, wow. Okay. Already fascinated.
So there's like kind of like a risk reward there. Like you almost like might want to go home to like bank your aura and like so you're not, you might be in more danger and you got more to lose.
Yeah, wow. Okay. So I've got some torches now. I could go into a cave. Is there anything else you think I should get before I go into one?
No. So as I say, this prototype was really about building. So there's not much danger in the world. So there's no hunger in this version. So you don't have to worry about that. So you're pretty good to go into a cave if you want to.
I want to craft some glass and make a glass house.
And
then have someone throw stones at it. That's my big move here. So okay, let's go craft some sandstone, glass. What are we missing? Oh, it's the wrong sand.
Oh, yeah, is it?
Oh, but okay. So concrete or... Oh, no, I just need... Oh, here it is. Wait. Oh, it is craftable. It's just not...
Yeah.
I guess it is lit up, but it's not very...
Yeah,
visible.
that's probably a bug in this version.
So now...
So obviously in the future, we will have like a station, like a smelter station, essentially. So to convert that, you know, at the moment, you can just craft it on your person. But yeah, eventually it won't be as easy to just make glass with your hands by like crushing sands together.
I mean, I'm pretty powerful. I have a lot of aura. It makes sense that I should be able to crush myself a house. Okay, so I'm gonna use just the 13 blocks I have. It's not a lot, but I'm gonna make the best house I can.
Oh, is this
okay?
your house? Okay, I was wondering what you were doing.
It's gonna be a good house. So if we've got 13 blocks, the minimum we need is 9. So we can go like this.
So what you could do is if you want it to be thinner,
Yeah.
you could use a sculpting tool and make them
Yeah.
like half voxels if you want.
That's a good idea, actually. Now that you say it,
Like that's at the moment our way of doing windows is I mean, with anything you just sculpt it, make it flat.
so this would be a small house normally. You know, a lot of people might say this isn't a big enough house, but all we have to do is there we go, and then this probably has to be like a side stair.
Yeah, because otherwise, there'll be a gap. That's cool.
There we go, and then we'll do the same over here. Make a little slab, make a little side stair, and look at all the house. Look at all the space we've just got. Except then we can do the same down here and down here. And the house is still a house. It's still keeping protected from those outside elements. Those
Beautiful.
future monsters, you know. But now look at all the space. It's roomy in here.
It's probably like in the top 50 houses that have ever been built in Reforj, just because of how few have been built.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
For now, that will change, but for now,
Technically speaking, it's still a glass house if I use these. Just, you know.
I guess,
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, I last time I shared the game, I had because Mumbo just gave me his footage and he's like, you can use this, and so I put it in my video, and everyone's like, oh, it's interesting to see the difference between someone who like does do building and like wants to play around with palettes and like you.
yeah, because I'm not like super artistic, especially with like natural things. I'm not very good, but then there's obviously like loads of really good artists in 4J that just take like the sculpting tools to the next level, because it's like at the moment, like quite a limited selection of shapes you can do that will keep expanding, but like already like they use them in like such interesting ways. Just being able to make curves just gives you so many options.
Yeah, I can. You know, let's put some curves in here. Let's.
One
let's
thing
show
I'll
some
mention, because I
variety.
did see a few comments about it, is with the Noble Glass it's not too bad, but the speed to sculpt is going to be increasing. At the moment, it takes the same amount of time as breaking like a full block. So, like, if you sculpt stone, it just takes a little bit too long. So, sculpting is going to be like much quicker.
What's the? Okay, there we go. Look at this. Oh, I am happy with what I have done here.
Beautiful.
So yeah, I feel like usually people go for bigger houses. I'm very much either make the smallest house reasonably possible, or just say the world is my house. So I'll do that second one right now as we maybe head off and find a cave somewhere.
I can show you something cool with water if you want while we're on the surface.
Yeah,
do you want to?
let's do it.
If I take control a second. So one of the things is that at the moment the way the water will look in general will change, but this won't change. So at the moment, because this is deep, there's like big waves. But if you had a shallower area, you would get much smaller waves. But also the way they interact with sculpting tools is quite interesting. So if I dig like a channel here, and get some...
Oh, that's functional right now. I didn't realize that was a current version thing.
Yeah.
Oh.
So that was in here. So it's proper sandbox water. So like the first time you showed the game, it wasn't. It was all locked to a set height.
Yeah.
But now, like, you can pick up and place water, and it can flow. But then if I show here,
how do you pick up water?
So
Break
it's
it
not.
right
Yeah,
now?
it's a
Okay,
debug
yeah.
option at the moment. It's like a thing, but there will be like a container. So here, if I sculpt like this, you'll see the water will flow through because it could fit through.
Yeah.
But if I like did this and did the same shape here, it won't get to the other side. So it's not just looking at it; it knows the shape of what you've made. You know, same as if I did it like this way around, it will get blocked by the back. But then, you know, I could do this.
Yeah, it's got to work out.
Yeah, and get it to like Yeah, so you see here it's like flowing into it. I sculpted that the wrong way around, but you get the idea.
Yeah, wow. I want to play around with that.
Of course.
Let's see. That in my mind, this is what a sandbox should do: is like give you things that just make you go, "Oh, I wonder how this would do with that," and then like this. So I'm gonna make a long pathway here, and we're gonna see. So just this first block, we should even be able to place a slab, and it will say, "Yep, I can fly over that." But if I do it a second block, then it gets closer and closer to not going over the top. Oh. Picked a bad example. But then we'll go into a slope over here maybe. So we'll break it, replace it, and then it can go over just that little corner there. And that's pretty cool that it is actually working out the distance and being able to not just treat it as a solid block.
It's not just looking at what shape there is. It's like it knows which way round the shape is. And so I think that, you know, there will probably end up being, like you just saw, like specific like edge cases. This is like the first iteration of this that was added in. So I think it's probably just looking at, like, I don't think it's taken into consideration the exact height that the slope is now.
Yeah.
But like one of the things we were unsure of at first was whether sloping water could interact with sloping elements at all. Mm-hmm. That was up to Brad, but then we realized that because like the whole edge of like the water is sloped, it just needs to, because otherwise you're gonna end up with so many problems. And so someone smarter than me, Richard Reevy, the lead programmer, managed to get it working, because it's basically like a whole extra piece of information for like every element that the engine needs to know.
But that's really cool. Okay, so even if I sculpt that there, it's going to know that because there's a small
it's a tiny little gap.
It can slide through into it. Super cool.
And then something that might be harder to demonstrate without placing is the way that water updates. So say if you had like a single kind of column of water dropping, and like you place like an element in it, so it like kind of the water bulges around and goes around. But then if you break away the element, it will like adjust and go back to being just a smooth piece. You don't need to place like a bunch of blocks around it to like fill it in.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna break that now, and it's gonna pour water on top of me. Oh, and then I can float up. That's handy. Yeah, it's super cool. I didn't even think about the space that could later lead to like weird mechanisms and things like that. If you felt like, you know, if there's any way to break blocks remotely, you'd be able to, or something like that, you'd be able to make all sorts of weird water contraptions. Yeah. Very fun. Okay, I'm going to move that, put one here. I'm going to go deeper, as deep as I can while still being able to break this block.
I think you've dug too deep.
Oh no. Okay, one more block, and then I'm just going to... Wait, actually, if I dig myself a little hole here, though, then I should be able to. Maybe if I can break that one, then... No. Oh, yeah, I got it.
Oh, just about.
Okay. So now the water's going to come down
there. It should
there.
flow in, yeah.
And it's flowing into me. Very cool. Okay, I'm gonna put this back in the ocean to see what happens then. Like, how will this water source interact with the ocean water source?
Please don't crash. Please don't crash. I'm imagining one of the programmers watching this, just sweating. Hopefully, this will because this was for this prototype, like this sort of kind of sandbox water. Like, it was only kind of just added. Like it's like it for the longest time it wasn't like this. So this is literally like the first iteration of like this water.
The water's doing some interesting things on the stairs here. It's become like a triangle. I wonder if I like can sculpt it to force it to like realize what's actually happening here. No, interesting. Yeah, we'll look away. We'll look away. We didn't see anything happen in here. I do like that I've got a water elevator up here, though. Yeah, nice. So let's now. It's dark, you know. Don't want to be on the surface. Let's go. Oh, is that a cave? Would you say?
Yeah.
Let's go into it.
Don't know how deep it goes, but definitely a cave.
So is there a like a fixed, like the world size right now? I would say is one of the few details that is somewhat fixed, right? Or is even that what is there about the current demo that you can say like, you know, it's not a guarantee, but you're fairly sure that it's not going to change too much, or is
Oh.
there very little like that?
I don't know why there's 3D. I didn't think there'd be 3D Orium there. You got an
Yeah.
Orium crystal.
Wow.
I didn't think that was in this build.
Wait, is Orium the aura that we were just talking
So
about?
so
The
Orium
life?
is like the crystallized version of Aura. So
Okay.
if you want to be like, I just need loads of Aura to power something that needs a bunch of power,
Yeah.
like mining for Orium would probably be your best shot. But because you're always going to be getting Aura from like killing mobs or just eating food, like
Yeah.
you're always going to be gradually getting it anyway.
Yeah.
But what we didn't want it to be is like, oh, I need a bunch of Aura. I'm just going to run around just like killing animals just to get it, like
Yeah.
grinding it out. And so, mining would be like the quickest way to get a lot of it. But yeah, so in terms of world size, so the world size at the moment is, let's see if I remember, I think it's 4,096.
Yeah.
Oh, you remember as well. Nice.
I was curious if that was the like the end target you'd say, or not target, but like it's a happy place. Like it's not a
Yeah, I mean,
we don't like.
this is what they are. I mean, one of the things, and this
Ooh,
is
yeah,
like
cool cave.
one of the things we'd hope to have is different size worlds, like both bigger and smaller could be interesting. But I think the important thing to remember is because obviously the plan is to have gateways that will link your worlds together, and in quite a seamless way. Like you're not leaving the game and loading up a new one. It's you would have this gateway in your world that you would go through to then be in another world, and you'd keep all of your stuff with you. And so the idea is you would hopefully have a network of gateways linking these worlds together. And so even though each individual world isn't infinite, you can keep making these gateways to keep going to new places. And it means when there's a new update, you could just create a new gateway to go to a new world. You don't have to load up a new world or travel for hundreds of miles to find the new stuff.
Yeah, to me that's the biggest like genius sales pitch. Is like your world almost then immediately becomes this cool like artifact, and you can play around with that, or you could just jump into a gateway to another one. Like there's no like new world, old world decision. Like it's just new gateway, old gateway.
Yeah, you might
sounds like.
load up a world and you're building it in a while, and then you go for a gateway to a new world, and you're like, oh, this world's so much cooler, forget that other world, and you just basically like move to the new one. And then the other plan is to be able to affect that world generation. So there'll be things that you'll be able to do where you can choose like what you want the world to create, like basically modifiers, like I want big mountains or floating islands and stuff. So that's the plan. So this isn't in the game yet, but that's the kind of the design that we're working towards, and we think we can achieve.
Yeah, and that you'll get the access to those things somewhere in your real world, so that by playing your world, you'll eventually, almost be able to unlock yourself a new one. Like
yeah, and that's going to be one of the things that requires a lot of Orium, is to like power your gateway. You need a lot of Orium for, and of course it kind of just works as like a first goal for players is to create. You don't have to. You could just stay in that world, but it's sort of to kind of create and power the gateway is kind of what we think will be kind of, other than surviving, people's first goal.
Yeah, everyone needs to have something big to aim for, like the classic Minecraft is you get diamonds because you do. It's just what everyone does. Like you've always got to have like every sandbox needs at least a nominal goal to get you invested in the sand.
Yeah, and like 'cause some people don't need that at all. Some people can just have a box of Lego and be like, hey, I'm just going to build whatever I want. And some people want some instructions, but they might improvise. So it's, it will have the freedom for people that do just want to mess around, but to have like a bit of like a loose objective.
I think that's where we'll end things for today. It was very fun to talk, and hopefully you've noticed, but I was obviously talking very casually, and this is because we literally were just there for Guitar Hero and to play some Amplitude, and just at the same time figured like, oh yeah, let's play some Reforj. We're both interested in this, and this is the version of Reforj that is publicly shareable, and so that's the one we played for the sake of this recording. Hopefully you found it to be very interesting. Speaking of interesting, by the way, I should probably point out that if you want to see more of us talking about this game, there is a full members-only version of the interview. It's very long, so just be warned about that. But if you want to watch all of that, you can just become a channel member right now and access that, as well as a green name, all of the member-only emojis, and all of the other member-only videos. It's a great way to support the channel on a monthly basis, and it's something I'd really appreciate, because you know how YouTube is some days of inconsistency. Speaking of inconsistency, I hope you all enjoyed, and for one last fun fact from that longer interview...
One thing I want to say...
Yeah.
Is there's going to be a tool, because one of the comments I've been seeing a lot is because at the moment you've been breaking all the elements just with your hand. That's a placeholder. There's quite a few things like that are a placeholder, but yeah, you will have tools.
Although the only tool you have if you want to avoid house fires is on your screen right now. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Bye!